government has approved plans to allow the euthanasia of terminally ill children aged between 1 and 12.
The research shows there's a need for the possibility of active life termination among doctors and parents of terminally ill children who are suffering hopelessly and unbearably and will die in the foreseeable future.
Well, current Dutch law permits euthanasia for babies under 1 year of age and children older than 12. Consent from parents is mandatory. Children aged 16 or 17 need only inform their parents of their decision. The new rules will also require parental consent and the approval of 2 doctors. Voluntary child euthanasia has been allowed in the Netherlands since 2014, while for adults it was legalised almost 2 decades ago. Now, last year, euthanasia deaths accounted for 4% of the total number of deaths in the Netherlands. Out of over 6,000 cases, the majority were for terminal medical conditions. We put the government's latest initiative up for debate.
2 things that are difficult to define. One is how long someone's got to live, and the other is how unbearable the suffering really is. And both of those things get watered down over time. In Oregon, for example, terminally ill has been watered down to, you require some medical treatment to sustain your life, which means even diabetes is classified as terminally ill, when people can live for decades with diabetes. This is what happens with these things. They gradually water down the definitions of what causes, what is terminally ill, what is unbearable,
in Oregon,
this kind of thing. And the fact they're watering it down now to children as well shows exactly the slippery slope that happens when you legalise euthanasia in this kind of way.
It's absolutely nonsense what you say. In Oregon, a patient with having diabetes will not be helped in his suicide just because he has a diabetes. If there is a diabetes, is it part of the suffering, but it's certainly not the reason. And this is the way opposition is talking about our law.
I think even the suggestion to young children maybe dying is the right option. It's just going to be very, very disturbing for those children and just provoke anxiety. I think children, what will happen here is children will feel pressured to die, pressured to allow people to kill them. What an awful thought that is. And then parents as well, feeling pressured to kill their children or allow their children to be killed.
I think if you don't want to have euthanasia, you are not going to ask for it, you won't get it, and you will get absolutely perfect health care in the Netherlands and in Oregon. It is nonsense to say that it is suggested to patients that they should make a choice for death. It is not one of the nicest things for a doctor to do, to help his patient die. But sometimes it's the only way out.
It's not nonsense at all. There are many reported cases where patients have felt pressured, because doctors have said, maybe we can't treat you for this, and so you should think about euthanasia. Have you thought about euthanasia? And doctors have repeatedly said that to patients, and they've felt the pressure of it.
I have never read what you said. It is just something you think or you believe which is happening. And maybe there have been cases where this has happened. I am not saying that we are sacred, but it is certainly not the general idea of how our law is practiced in the Netherlands, how it is practiced in Oregon, how it is practiced in Belgium, in Luxembourg and Canada and right now.
I mean, what we've found consistently in surveys of doctors is that people who are actually palliative care doctors do not support euthanasia. They're the ones who know that pain can be alleviated. Euthanasia is not the right way around. It's not. Everyone agrees that this is a wrong thing to do, to terminate life in this kind of way.
You are persevering in saying something which is not right. If there is a situation to alleviate pain by palliative care, our doctors do that. But we are talking in these kind of cases of patients who are suffering so much and where the suffering cannot be alleviated. In such cases, it is much more humane to help somebody die peacefully by, yes, of course, by the hands of a doctor, by giving medication.